Okay, it is still baseball season. Twins literally just walked off the Phillies. Good job, took the series. But this is a Vikings channel mostly, and the Vikings have started training camp. The vets are there, the rooks are there, everybody's there. Um, First practice is coming up in a couple days. Figured I'd knock out a little camp preview video. Not that there's not that there's a whole lot to say. There has been some news. Um, just in the last couple days, they signed Christian Darasaw to a very lucrative extension, 4 years and $100 and something million. So I think he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be the highest paid left tackle in the league, but he's definitely going to be in the mix. Um, and of course, I think the Jefferson video was the last one I did. Obviously they got him locked up, and everyone was very excited yesterday. They signed Duke Shelley. Duke Shelley's back. Um, you know, kind of a unsung hero of a couple games back in 2022. Thought he was going to get a big contract after that season. We didn't want him. Bounced around, I think, to a couple teams. So, but he's back, and who knows? There might be an opening. I mean, I wouldn't have done a video on this because what do you do on this? But Kyrie Jackson was killed in a prop. Well, I don't know if they officially said yet if it was a drunk driver who did it, but that happened a few weeks ago. Um, what can you say? I mean, I don't have the. I'm not the type to do the videos on that stuff. Sucks. When you know the guy's story and you know, you know, in football, then he left football, and then he got back into football, in college and worked his way up to, you know, I think he played at a couple major programs, and then gets drafted, and he was probably gonna have a pretty good shot at playing because you always need cornerbacks. And I guess he was really popular already with the team, so I mean it's awful, but we'll see what. I mean, we've got a weird history with the Vikings of having these having deaths in camp. Obviously Corey Stringer, Tony Sperano. Um, I forget what year that was. Was that 18 or 19? I know there was another one. Like, um, so I don't know. It's just weird, and you know, and when you do look at it, then from a football standpoint, it's like these things can really kind of have a carryover effect for the season. Obviously, it's not about that. I'm not saying, it's not like, oh, he died, so now it's going to ruin the season. It's not. That's not the relevant thing. It's just you wonder how it's going to affect. I mean, from a football perspective, you do wonder how it's going to affect them. Um, but so beyond that, though, this is obviously like a transitional year, transitional camp. It's the first time with no Kirk. I think the first time at TCO with no Kirk, because I think 18 was the first year they actually uh, um, had camp at TCO. Um, I mean, the probably the 90% of the coverage, 90% of the fan interest coming into this camp is going to be the quarterback. The quarterback battle, if there is a battle. We don't know if there is a battle. Um, Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, everything seems to point to Darnold most likely being the guy for a while, for a while into the season. But they really want to take it slow with J.J. McCarthy. And they may want to take it slow with J.J. McCarthy, but we all know how it's going to be. If Darnold is the guy and Darnold sucks for a few games, it's not going to be okay. Well, we'll just wait, keep waiting. No, it's going to be deafening because we haven't had too much experience with this with the highly drafted quarterback, and you know like Teddy got in there with because of an injury. Castle got hurt, and so Teddy was playing then. Um, and then like Ponder eventually got in there because McNabb stunk, but even that took like 2 months. So, um, I don't know. I wouldn't like. I'm very torn on this Darnold thing. 'Cause, like, I don't totally dismiss the possibility that this guy could actually, that the KOC and this coaching staff could actually tap in to Darnold's talent. Because I mean, he did play for two of the most dysfunctional franchises in the league, in the Jets and the Panthers. And obviously the Jets have ruined everybody. And then obviously he was with the 49ers last year. Um, I don't think he played much, but he was with a guy, Kyle Shanahan, who's turned lesser quarterbacks into good quarterbacks, and you know you know hopefully he learned something there. Hopefully we can tap into that. Obviously, there's a lot of skill talent on the team. Um, that can help a guy. So I don't totally dismiss it. I'm not expecting like I think people are some people are really expecting a lot. They're expecting you know Keenum. They're expecting like healthy Bradford. Like they're expecting I think too much. But I don't totally dismiss that Darnold can be a decent quarterback for us for a while. Um, and kind of keep the JJ dogs at bay for a while. Um, but yeah, it's really going to be all about JJ. I may actually go to a preseason game for the first time in several years because I can get to see McCarthy play in game action, assuming that he plays. I hope it wouldn't be one of those ones where they just play Nick Mullins or something the whole game. Um, um, but yeah, it's really the QB battle, and then Dallas Turner signed, so he'll be we'll see how he does. Um, um, some other you know the other newbies, as far as camp battles. I mean, a lot of it's going to be on defense. So you got a lot of new guys on defense, a lot of turnover on defense. You know, you know, I mean, offense, we pretty much know what it's going to be for the most part. Obviously, Hawkinson's on the pup list. He's probably not going to play for a while. He's probably not going to play, even like into the season for a while. So we'll see how they can cover for that. Um, it is a little muted though. This going to this camp, not just because of the Jackson thing. I mean, even before that, just the outlook on the season. Like this is the first. Like I'm always the type who's thinking the Vikings are gonna at least make the playoffs. I don't dismiss that they can make the playoffs this year, but this is going to be the first year in a long time where I'm not going into like a season thinking they're going to make the playoffs. I don't dismiss their chances of making the playoffs. They still could, but you know, I would hope like year two of Flores with you know some new pieces on defense that there can be something. I mean, look, we went 7-10 last year, even with a disaster of a quarterback situation the last 2 months. Um, but so the people thinking they're going to win like 3-4 games. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to, I mean, but I mean they could go 7-10 again. I mean, it's just so it's a weird spot to be in because I mean I know some fans hate it that they're always in the mix every year because they want to just tank. And believe me, the tank Nazis are going to be unreal this year. Even though we've got a quarterback, they're still going to want to tank if we go 0-2. They're still going to want to tank the season. But yeah, I mean, like I don't know what like for a record prediction so far. Like I don't even know what I would think. I think they're going to be in the 500 range. I mean, I know you can't be 500 unless you tie now, but I think it's going to be something in that range. I mean, hope for better. I hope Darnold really gets tapped into in a big way. If he is, I mean, if he is like 2017 Keenum, or you know, what looked like it was going to be 2017 Bradford, or was kind of 2016 Bradford, at least in terms of kind of his production. Like, yeah, they can be a playoff team. Can they compete in the division? I mean, Green Bay's QB's holding out. He wants his big fat payday. So maybe there'll be a little problems in Green Bay. Lions are frauds still, but they'll be in the mix obviously to win the division again. But Bears, I'm not buying the hype because you know, well, we don't know about their quarterback yet either. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't see it. Like that's why I'm always excited for Viking season to arrive. They're my favorite team. They're my favorite one of my sessions in life. But you know, I think I think it's just muted this year because it's just a different kind of year. I don't think this is like a rebuild year because I think there's too much talent on the team to look at it that way. But I mean, it's definitely not. Previous seasons you go into it thinking, okay, hey, we're positioned to compete for the division, maybe compete to go for a playoff run, and I know we didn't really do that very much, over the last 6 years, but you know, I always felt going in that we had that opportunity. I don't really feel that this year, but I have been wrong before. Like 2012, I thought they were going to be absolutely horrible, and they made the playoffs that year. That was the Adrian MVP season. So I mean, it can happen. I'm I'm, I'm not a psychic. If I was, I'd I'd have a lot of money. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see. Um, we'll see what happens with the different camp battles. We'll see if there are any like surprising releases this year or anything like that. Some people are excited because there's rumors that we might get Adam Thielen back, that he might not even stick around with the Panthers. I'd take it. We're still kind of looking for a third wide receiver. There actually are a couple positions we haven't really filled yet, and there's probably still some veterans out there that we could go get. Maybe even some more defensive linemen. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, again, I'm always excited. I'm always hopeful. Obviously, I hope Darnold's great, or if Darnold's not great, I hope JJ McCarthy is a rookie sensation. But even that, like a rookie starting quarterbacks, there's a cap on what they have ever done. You know, they've we've had rookie quarterbacks win divisions, make the playoffs, um, but you know, you don't win Super Bowls with rookie quarterbacks. So it's just, you know, I don't think anyone's thinking Super Bowl this year. We're hoping that, you know, my hope is that they can remain competitive for playoff possibilities. Obviously, we got everyone looking forward to next offseason. We're gonna have so much cap room to go do some things. Obviously, I think like the best case scenario coming to this season. I mean, best case scenario is a Super Bowl championship, but I mean, realistic best case scenario is I think whether it's Darnold as the guy most of the way or McCarthy stepping in, that we really get you know really good reliable QB play. Flores in year two really makes this defense formidable. I mean, they were formidable for a while last year, and then they kind of fell off. I think in part because we ended up with quarterbacks who wouldn't stop turning the fucking football over. Um, and this team can be like certainly a playoff contender, and maybe if Green Bay or Detroit are not like in that 11-12 win range, maybe we can compete for a division, and then they could really strike next off season for maybe free agents and stuff like that. Um, but I'm rambling. It's a new season of rambling. I ramble every year, and I'm never going to stop. So um, we'll see what happens. Any news coming out? I don't know what more news there's going to be. I mean, there's no more extensions. We got the big extensions done. Maybe if we get Thielen back, that would be big news, or any receiver. Um, but Quasey's been cooking this offseason, man. I think this has been a very very good offseason. Um, um, just for like kind of rebuilding the roster and rebuilding the salary cap and all that. Um, it's all going to hinge on McCarthy. Because if obviously if he hits, we're set for a lot of years. Um, I'm skeptical. I wish I was as enthusiastic as some Vikings fans were about JJ McCarthy. Like, I hope he's good. I hope he's great. I hope he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But we got a long way to go before that's figured out. So, all right. But yeah, so rambling will stop now. But Vikings, we're back. Let's see what we can cook up for 2024.